What's up, Lug Life family? Zach here from the Junkluggers. If you're watching this right now, shout out to Roger. He knows not to release this until after I've gotten out of a successful surgery where they believe they can remove the tumor and check the rest of my body to make sure that there's no other tumors that have popped up. And I'm in a hospital right now. About 2 months ago, Cooper, he got ill. And I came home one day and his head had sunken in. Around that time, I started carrying him everywhere because his legs stopped working. So we brought him to the vet and we realized that he had a brain tumor. When we brought him to the vet, by this point I've been carrying this 80-pound dog up and down the Lug Life stairs every single day because his legs stopped working, and I injured myself. And I just kept lifting and lifting and lifting, even though my body was weak from the Achilles surgery and I hadn't been doing any heavy lifting. But I kept pushing through because he's my dog and my best friend. So eventually it got to the point where I couldn't lift anymore and I thought he had a hernia. I went to the doctor. I got a CT scan, and I didn't have a hernia. I just tore a muscle in my abdomen. What they did find, miraculously, is a tumor right near my pancreas. So yeah, so there's a couple things that I've learned along the way. First, your health. You know, I used to pride myself on the fact that I used to say, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And in your 20s and even in the beginning of your 30s, you believe it and you feel like you're invincible. So thank God for Cooper. The last thing he did on this earth is he saved my life. I'm approximately 5 years earlier than most people. I've been in no pain. And I've been fortunate enough that because this wasn't a life or death situation, that I was able to have the time to make an educated decision and meet with so many amazing oncologists. So shout out to Cooper. Shout out to my family. They have been there thick and thin for me, and they have been so positive. Even in the toughest times, they've just been so fucking good to me, and I love them. Shout out to all the surgeons and oncologists and doctors that spent hours upon hours building up my confidence that this is the best case scenario of a worst case scenario. You know, what I've realized through this experience of hanging out in cancer hospitals is life is so fucking precious. And, I feel fortunate enough that this was caught early, but a lot of people don't get that lucky. While this was all going on, my best friend Eric was tragically killed by a dump truck in Brooklyn. And, he wasn't as lucky as I was to be able to make sure that everything was set up, way past my legacy. So if there's anything that I could recommend, it's work less, play more, hug the people that you love. Make sure you tell everyone every single day how much you love them, and that never go to bed with a grudge. Shout out to my wife Danielle. She's my fucking rock. Obviously, if you know me well enough, I don't take situations like this well. And she was in every single doctor's appointment with me, taking detailed notes, making sure that we were making the best decision for my health and for the family, sending out weekly email updates to all of my loved ones. When people would call me and I would tell them, everything's great. Shout out to my Junkluggers and Remix family. There's nothing to say there. I've been out of the office more than I've ever been for the last 3 months in 10 years. And it's like I'm not, it's like we haven't skipped a beat. Business as usual, and it's been so much more. I'm so much more appreciative and grateful to have such a strong team around me, because this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for them. Truly, I'm just a spokesperson. I hope everyone realizes by this point, everything that happens, all these miracles that happen, being a successful entrepreneur, it's because I have such an amazing, strong team around me. So shout out to the true heroes that are grinding day in and day out. Shout out to Roger and the Lug Life podcast. We've got one more episode that we're going to release next week, and then the 20th episode we'll shoot as soon as I get better. That might be weeks, that might be months, we're not sure yet. So as soon as I'm able to, we'll get back on this. But obviously my request for anyone that's watching this on Instagram, YouTube, apparently I'm supposed to say TikTok now, is go back, watch these episodes. Why we were recording this entire thing, it was in between doctor's appointments, procedures, exams, blood work, and honestly, I gave it all my best. To me, recording something that wasn't just quality, but also was something that was truly mine and my team's, really got me through some of the darkest days, and being able to research these entrepreneurs and share with you. So I'm going to be off social media for a while, but when I come back, nothing would make me happier than seeing thousands of views on YouTube, on Spotify, on our Instagram. You know, it's been really hard for me to stay positive and share with all of you, but you know, ultimately I did it because it was a great distraction, and losing not only one of my best friends, but my dog on May 5th was so fucking hard for me. And on top of that, staying positive, knowing that this isn't the end of my life, but just another chapter, making me stronger, making me creating even more mental toughness, was so inspiring. So I always told Roger, I didn't even care if one person watched it or thousands or millions of people watched it. For me, all that mattered is that I could take some of this knowledge and skills that I've learned along the way and share with other people. And if I inspired a couple more people along the way, it was all worth it. I'm trying to think who else I'm forgetting. Obviously, my friends, my family. I've got such a strong army behind me. At times, it was almost overwhelming. You know, the people that knew every single exam and procedure I was going to, and waking up from anesthesia and getting hundreds of phone calls and text messages was just so fucking inspiring. And ultimately, I don't know if I would have been as strong and positive if it wasn't for all the people around me. So even if I did a really shitty job showing you all how much it meant to me, and even though I probably brushed off any conversation about cancer, I can't tell you how much that made a difference for me to get up and keep pushing. Mentally, physically, spiritually, even when I wanted to give up, you know. I think at the end of the day, you're only as tough as you seem, and I have this responsibility to my coworkers, to my daughter, to my wife, to my family, to my siblings, to get through this, to be a spokesperson, to talk about the mental health that goes on when fighting through cancer. And I'm not there, but if this is being released right now, it means the surgery was successful, and I'm one step closer to making this a thing of the past and just another part of my story. You know, I want to reiterate to everyone, if this was found 5 years from now, when most people started experiencing symptoms with my doctors are now telling me I'm going to have a long, prosperous life, decades long, 10, 20, 30 years, all because of this pure coincidence where we thought an injury was a hernia, and in return, it was a blessing for my dog, right? So if I can share anything with all of you, it's take advantage of healthcare. Go to the doctor. Get any sort of blood work. Blood work wouldn't have even shown this. All my blood work came back normal. If you have any sort of suspicion that anything is wrong, get a test, get a procedure done, because instead of this turning into the end of my life, it's just another chapter. So don't be afraid of being able to take advantage of what might be the most expensive thing on your monthly expenses, which is your insurance. You know, there's a reason people have insurance, and I'm so fortunate to New York City and Department of Health, where my wife works, to have good health care, to be able to offer me this. Right now, we've probably racked up about $1 million in bills. I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of people that I should thank, but ultimately at the end of the day, my dream for all of you is just keep chasing your dreams, keep chasing your passions. You know, it's been a tough year for sure after Achilles surgery, getting knocked down by losing my dog. After that, losing my best friend, learning I have cancer. But if there's anything that you could learn from this, it's every day is a blessing, and life is way too short to be doing shit that you don't love. Chase your dreams. Looking forward to shooting another 120 podcasts over the next year with some of the most successful entrepreneurs, and I love you all, and I'll see you when I'm done. Bye. I couldn't complain, cause even when I did, niggas really couldn't feel my pain. That's the type of shit that drive a nigga insane. Wanna be numb, now your thumb back, flicking the flame. Back to square one, trying to overcome what you became. Like they was right, I guess you never gonna change. When it's hard to keep your eyes on the road, you start to feel your back on the road. Your back is you gotta take the highs with the lows. You gotta take the highs with the lows. Lost, then you're running out of road. Give me a real kiss. Give me a real kiss.